Before we begin worship today, I have a few quick announcements. On July 10th, Keith Hutchison, myself, and Karina will be leading a new to UU class as part of our Pathway to Membership. You do not have to be a new UU to come. If you would like a refresher or just to learn more, you are welcome. It will be directly after service next Sunday. In August, we will be doing Unworship August. This does not mean we will not be gathering together. We will still be here at 10:30, the usual time. Service will just look drastically different, and I will explain that more throughout the service. And you may have seen in the communications, and we've talked about it a little bit in previous worship services, we are hosting what's called St. Gabriel's Got Talent. And today we have our first volunteers. So look forward to that later on in the service. Let us begin.
Good morning. Welcome to San Gabriel Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. That's probably the only part of this that I have to read. I have a hard time getting those words in there. Whether you are here in the sanctuary or watching from home, hello. We're glad you're here. I'm Molly Hornbuckle, and I am the newly elected president of your board. And no, I am not crazy, contrary to the comments that I have received from many of you over the past couple of weeks. In fact, I'm actually looking forward to this, to the challenge of it, to what I have to learn, working with you, seeing what's in our future. I'm already learning so many things about this really crazy, upside-down, strange religion that we have committed to. There is a lot to learn. If you don't think you could pass the test today, you might consider coming to Keith and Reverend Jami and Karina's class on New to UU after church next week. I think that would be a great opportunity to figure out what we can learn together. But I am inspired at this point by Reverend Jami's enthusiasm. Just look. Oh, Karina knows the UUA website like the back of her hand, and just about the time the words are out of my mouth, Karina can send me something to help me learn about that. It's a great resource. The board is so committed. We have agreed to meet twice a month through the summer to kind of get up to speed on the beginning of our training. And it is just the beginning, but twice a month. Feels like commitment to me. There are people on the board who have been around and they know a lot. And then there are those of us that are new and will be learning as we go. And I think everybody's pretty optimistic. I think so. I'm encouraged. Then I'm also counting on you to consider your commitment. New to UU is coming next week. I think what you're going to hear me talk about for just a second are those things that are really short commitments of time. Kind of a big deal, but it's not like you're signing on for years. We're going to close out our books for the financial year. We need a couple of folks to work on an audit. If you feel like you're qualified to do that, please talk to Ron Karish or me. That will save us having to call you and ask you to do it. Also, keep in mind that there is something in you that might be wanting to respond. Well, I'd like to help them. I'd like to do something. Just say that to me. I had a conversation today over lunch, this week over lunch, with a member of the congregation who said, I'd like to help, but I don't know what to do. So I've hooked her up. Say yes to those things that offer the opportunity for you to share your gifts and to help carry the load. San Gabriel is a member congregation of the Unitarian Universalist Association. If you would like to know more about us or learn about upcoming events, go to the website, sign up for the newsletter, and know, whoever you are, wherever you are from, whomever you love, wherever you are on life's journey, whatever your gender identity or immigration status, you are welcome here. We're going to greet the day in song. I loved that little thing that played right before. My sister's a part of a group in Urbana, Illinois, and she was one of the voices singing that. That was special. Please rise in body or spirit now as we join together singing For All That Is Our Life. We light our chalice, the symbol of our faith, with these words. We light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism. We are a church of open minds. We are a church of loving hearts. We are a church of helping hands.
When we were working on the script, Karina, myself, and Molly had a Google Docs, and this call to worship is one sentence. And Molly was like, "Are you sure it's supposed to be one sentence?" It is. So let's see if I got the cadence right. I know that waiting for a sign sounds seriously sweet and super sentimental, so you swish your vodka and stare into that hopeful place, praying for some kind of light or lesson or legitimate liaison with something beyond whatever it is that's keeping you captive, but something it seriously takes too long. And I know that patience is a virtue, but you gotta bend both ways because your feet are on the edge and you know you need to jump. Even though it looks kind of deep, that whirlpool of wondrous possibility you preach about is here. So instead of standing there twiddling your toes and testing the temperatures with exceptional excuses because it's too cold and there are too many jellyfish and too much seaweed and dangerous depths, don't you dare stay where you are. Because even though you're not even wearing your best swimsuit, you're feeling kind of fragile, you free fall into fate and fearless freedom, because we were all taught to float before we learned to swim, so lie back and breathe, because I won't ever let you go under.
Our affirmation is the expression of our covenant with each other. Read with me, the words will be projected. The doctrine of this church is love. The quest of truth is its sacrament. Service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace. To seek knowledge in freedom. To serve humanity in fellowship. To the end that all souls shall grow in harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other. May it be so. Time for our Wonder Box. Karina, what's going on today?
Good morning. Hello, everyone at home. It's lovely to be with you. And what could be in here? We use our guesses that we offer to learn from one another. And so let's see if this gives us any clues as to what might be in here. Not a lot. It's pretty lightweight. Anybody want to make a guess? Oh, okay, yes, of course. Firecrackers, why not? I've played with fire. What else could be in here? Any other thoughts?
Flag.
A flag? I see where people are headed with this, with these guesses. Anything else? Constitution, thank you, sir. All right, we'll open it up. You all were terribly wrong. It is one of these, and I have to say I don't really care for them. You put this on if you're trying to sleep. I don't know. I'm not a good napper. I'm a horrible napper, and this doesn't help me with napping. But it does have something to do with today's story, so let's listen to that.
Quiet by Tommy DePaola. Published by Simon & Schuster. My, oh my, the grandfather said, everything is in such a hurry. The birds are flying so fast. And our dog is rushing after the ball, said the girl. I see a frog jumping high into the pond, said the boy. And a dragonfly zooming over the water. Even the trees are waving their leaves. Busy as busy can be. Let's not be so busy. Why don't we sit here, you next to me? The birds are just like us, taking a rest, singing their song. Our dog is tired. I think he's dreaming. The frog is sitting and blinking. The dragonfly has stopped beating its wings. Let us be quiet, like all our friends, quiet and still. I can think when I'm quiet. I can see when I'm still. To be quiet and still is a special thing. The end.
I think we always hope that Sundays are a day of rest. But for many of us in this room, I know that's not the case. And it can be difficult to find those moments. A lot of us may need some support in those moments. We have a cart at the back of the sanctuary with things to help keep your hands busy, if that helps you still your mind. So we need to be aware of how quiet can be found for each of us. And here I am talking about rest, and Reverend Jami is going to be talking about that as well, how we seek rest and how we can find relationship and help each other with rest. And I'm going to make you do some work right now. So since we are having a metaphor of a traffic light, we're going to create a large traffic light together. And these red circles are a place for you to write down, what's your favorite way to rest? How do you find a quiet, still moment? And we'll be able to look at those together later, and we'll fill our traffic light with answers to questions for the green light and the yellow light. So I'm going to pass these out, and there'll be a basket at the back where you can put your thoughts and share them with others. And we'll have something to look back on and reflect on after we're done with this sermon series. I hope you find it enjoyable and restful, perhaps. Put my mask back on.
It might seem counterintuitive to you that your minister has titled a service called Red Light during a summer which has led to so much pain, disappointment, and heartache. You might be questioning my urgency in every email, in our conversations, and in our time together, including this service, to stop and slow down. I have been asked, Rev J, shouldn't we be pounding the concrete and making a racket and rallying and screaming and raging as our very democracy is on the line? Yes, and. What I mean by slow down and in some cases stopping is not that the work does not continue. By all means, continue to riot and rage. What I mean is more like how a choir performs. We simply are not able to carry a note the entire time. So we hold the note and take a deep breath while others carry us through the song. It is time for us to take a break so that we can continue to rage and fight for justice and carry that note the world so desperately needs to hear right now, so that others can hear our song and join in with us. Pausing is not lazy. It is not avoidant. If you're used to always running, it might feel anxious. That is very normal, because a trauma response is often what is inside of your monkey brain called the amygdala, and it needs to be fed because it is used to chaos, and sitting may feel uncomfortable. You may be worried about the bills that need to be paid, the doctor's appointments that you need to go to, the phone calls you need to make. Very normal, it's your amygdala wanting to be exercised. But that isn't real. It is our mind playing tricks on us, and it messes with our ability to function, to be in community, and to be with one another, and to work, and to play. It affects all parts of our lives, and might be more obvious to others around us, and it may take some time for us to realize what is even going on in our own bodies and to recognize and name it. Slowing down helps heal that process and helps us return to homeostasis. And rest, it sounds nebulous. You might think, go to sleep at night. There are actually 7 different kinds of rest. And you might be needing a particular kind of rest, not just sleep at night, to recharge. The first one is physical rest. Your body might need rest if you just have aches and pains all over. Yoga might actually hurt you, and a massage might be a good thing. It's physical care of the body. The second one is mental rest. If you ever walk into the grocery store not having a list and forget 3 things, and forget them again, and walk out with toilet paper when you're just trying to get milk, you might need some rest from your mental state. Social rest, this is more than the introvert-extrovert debate. This is about feeling particularly drained after social events, more so than usual. Maybe those events are not for you, and they're negative, and you don't need to go to them anymore. Spiritual rest, it's based on our belief system. At the very core of that, it's feeling like we belong somewhere. If work becomes cumbersome and you don't even know why you're showing up, if church becomes annoying and a process in the morning that is not life-giving, maybe it's time to pause and look at your spiritual development and see what's going on at your church. Sensory rest, have you heard of sensory overload? That's like the phone rings and you cannot hear it again for like the 50th time and you need to silence it, or you need no screens in your house, or you just need some peace and quiet, or a text just drives you up the wall. You might need some sensory rest. Emotional rest is in particularly hard for people of color and other marginalized persons because they are doing a ton of heavy lifting called emotional labor. If things just feel like too much and a friend calls you and you cannot get through the phone call and you just feel drained, you might be in need of emotional rest. Creative rest. So creative rest is where we experience that feeling of beauty of all forms, walking outside, enjoying the birds singing, or things we normally liked, like gardening and finding the beauty in the world around us, and not wanting to create art or dance or music. If you're missing that, you're missing creative rest. The way you can tell when you have a deficit in this particular area is when you have a hard time being innovative. You have a hard time brainstorming and problem solving. Creativity is more than just art. It's any type of innovation. So now that we have reviewed the kinds of rest, being more aware of what kinds of rest we need will aid us in understanding how and when to be more productive in our daily lives. So how do we do this work of letting go and slowing down? Buddhism and other mindful practices remind us to let go. It can become a spiritual practice to literally pause and take a deep breath. And if you feel like you don't have time for all of this, well, then you need to take 2 deep breaths. We will be exploring this concept more in August, in which we will be participating in something that I'm calling Unworship August. We will still gather on Sundays, but service will look different. We will be together in fellowship. I will not be standing at the podium speaking. We will be in small groups, and it is an opportunity for me to spend time with you to hear what is important on your mind and heart and soul, what you want to see San Gabriel do in the future, and to remind us of the connectivity of each other and how important that is. That will build the church year. We will decide big things. We will decide where we are going in that time. And I will literally be able to just absorb you and your personhood and your thoughts in a way that I'm not able to do in regular worship. I invite you now to join me in the Buddhist metta meditation our San Gabriel children know so well. I will ring the bowl at the end to signal the end. So just repeat after me. First, think of yourself, may I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be filled with love. Second, think of someone you love. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be filled with love. Next, think of someone you have had trouble with. May they be happy. May they be healthy. May they be filled with love. Lastly, think of the whole world. May we be happy. May we be healthy. May we be filled with love.
Let's take a moment to sing again together. Please rise in body or spirit. The words for our hymn, "Break Not the Circle," are projected, and apparently there are hand motions. Do you know them? No. Okay. Let's go.
Know that part of the work we will be doing in August is rest and renewal and fueling back up so that you continue the hard work of living out our UU values in a time of serious uncertainty and despair. Working can look a lot of different ways. Capitalism keeps us from focusing on the true work. We think that production is things we can see, feel, touch, or watch happen in an Excel spreadsheet. But true human productivity is not measured like this, and real community and relationship cannot be made up in ways that you can visually see. Rest definitely counts as work. It is not easy for a lot of us, and we have good models to look to for inspiration and to learn from, and one of those is called the NAP Ministry. In 2016, Tricia Hersey created the NAP Ministry. Hersey is a woman of color who believes that rest is resilience, and literally napping with one another is a way to recharge, refuel, and see things in front of us like simple solutions we cannot grasp when we are exhausted. Side note, napping together can also lower blood pressure and build immunity, so bonus. Hersey names sleep deprivation as a racial and social justice issue, meaning that people of color and other marginalized people have the most rest to do because they are the ones that are doing the most work. And I know that the world is on fire, and I know that we have a battle to save trans lives of all ages, people of color, the housing insecure issue, health rights. Everything continues to be in jeopardy, and we are running out of renewable resources. These and so many other important parts of our lives are putting everything into question marks. And we need to take a collective, deep breath to figure out the solutions and pause for a while And more than that, have a deep breath. We need to actually just stop and look at what we are doing, and more importantly, why. So I know, St. Gabriel, that you have prided yourselves on remaining steadfast despite the gaps in ministries, despite the trauma you have incurred, despite being posited in the middle of a conservative, maybe red, growing purple city. In Georgetown, Texas, which just continues to be, you never know what you're going to get when you turn on the news sort of situation, making us afraid to tap into the world around us. But I want to do the brave thing and suggest that you continue to meet on Sundays, and just doing it just as you always have is maybe not the solution right now. It is a product of capitalism, and more so a very white mindset. We are in a liminal mind space and time. We have a gift, an opportunity right now to recreate how we are in the world, with each other and with ourselves. But we won't be able to do that hard work without proper rest. Rest will allow ourselves the room and space to find joy, humor, and joy can and should be wielded to help us get through the tough parts of life. And right now, we need to lean into covenant and collaboration to help our congregation thrive. We have to practice deep solidarity with one another and get outside of individualism, which is so common in UU spaces, and focus more on community and fellowship. Joy feels like love, and it has a sacred power. And we, you, all of us together, we were meant to know and feel this kind of deep love. This is how we will liberate ourselves, and tomorrow when we celebrate getting free, this is how we will actually get free.
So I'm shaking off the angst, right? Resting up. Okay. We have a new fun element. Reverend Jami alluded to it earlier. We're going to take a moment to shine a spotlight on some talent in our congregation. So, I'm sorry? Well, why don't we do that first? So we're going to take an offering each week. This can be fun too. We can take an offering each week to sustain this place that we call home, support the work of our fellowship. The offering will now be gratefully received. Thank you so much.
We're clearly very excited about the talent today. So Ron and Jackie have something to share with us, and that is all I will say.
Whoa, that felt good. Did that feel good, Ron? Oh, yeah. We close our sacred time together when we extinguish our chalice. Hear these words. As we leave this friendly place, love, give light to every face. May the kindness which we learn light our hearts till we return.